What is up, everybody? Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Truthman and Company Network channel here on YouTube. And this is the second episode of the brand new series 2KPress, brought to you by a collaboration between UCPW and Worldwide Wrestling International. Today, we're going to cover a wide variety of topics that basically span the last 7 days of business and our pro coalition here. But before we get to the big business, let's take a moment here and send out our thoughts and prayers to the family of Devin Howler, one of our owners of the pro coalition, who had to fly out to take care of some personal matters. We want him to know that he has our support, and we definitely wish him a speedy recovery and to hurry back. Devin, we miss you. God bless you. And so let's move on. Last Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, on, or at rather, a live event produced by UCPW and Worldwide Wrestling International, there was a big return in place. Now, as most of you remember, there was a challenge laid down to Max Cannon. Unfortunately, Max Cannon did not show up. And so, to stand in his place would be his very, very best friend, Retro King. Retro King would stand in the middle of the ring to behold who the opposing challenger would be for Max Cannon, and that man was none other than retired Worldwide Wrestling International Hall of Famer himself, 66-year-old Nolan Ward, the father of Yosef and Zeros Ward, the grandfather of Logan Ward. And at 66, he's never, ever looked better. He stepped in the ring for one-on-one competition for the first time in 10 years since retiring. And, of course, be that as it may, that match went, well, probably not as we would have wished for it to go. Mr. Ward could not keep up, apparently, with the speed and the agility of Retro King. But nonetheless, it was a damn good performance. The crowd leaving with chants of "You Still Got It." It was an incredible happening there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was a big, big night, and we definitely are extremely happy to have Nolan Ward back on the active roster, and there's more to come on this particular topic, but we're going to move on to Friday night. The really big piece of business was Friday night, live in Tampa, Florida, for 6 hours from 6 p.m. all the way to midnight. The Pro Coalition, a collaboration between UCPW and Worldwide Wrestling International, celebrated the life of the late, great Soulman Rocky Johnson. The Soulman Tribute was sold out. It was live in Tampa, Florida, and there were a number of acts that showed up to perform in his honor. Now, as I have mentioned before, the Soulman Tribute was not about championships. It was not about waging wars. It was about the spirit of solid competition, and every single superstar who came out to support the cause did just that. The card was amazing. We opened the show with a triple threat match. That triple threat match featured newcomer in UCPW, Marcus Dyer, and of course the return of Adam Wood, and on the other side of the ring, Mr. Nolan Ward. Now, two very young, athletic, fast studs competing against a 66-year-old Hall of Famer, but nonetheless, Nolan Ward became the talk of the night with this pre-show opener as he would get the pin over Adam Wood. Now, that was a big happening, not just because Mr. Ward is 66 years old and he's a Hall of Famer. This was big business because if most of you remember last season, Adam Wood was the man who slipped up, caught the victory at Heat Seeker over Logan Ward, the grandson of Nolan Ward. He would get the victory over Logan Ward, costing him his international virtual pro wrestler's license. He cannot wrestle for 12 months, costing him a year out of the business. It was a big, big happening at the show Heat Seeker back on 2K19. It was a really, really big deal. So for Nolan Ward to show up at the Soulman Tribute and catch an upset victory over Adam Wood, what a happening. Of course, to close the pre-show, there was a triple threat match again. And it would see Marcus Dyer step back into the ring for the second time. For the second time. The night really hadn't gotten started yet, but Marcus Dyer would step back in the ring for a second time to take on Bishop Bannon. And, of course, on the other side of the ring, Ace, the return of Ace. Really, really big deal here. This triple threat match was an exciting, high-octane performance, and the match would last a total of about 12 minutes, and it was an incredible showing, and we definitely enjoyed all of the action in that matchup. Now, we definitely want to talk about the card for the Soulman Tribute because it wound up panning out to be something extraordinarily special. Now, for most of you who keep up with our network here, you know that there has been some personal problems between Chris Garcia and the Ward family. No need to get specific into those things as we have addressed them in previous episodes. But Nolan Ward had a conversation with Joseph Ward and told him to put aside his differences. And he thought that for the spirit of competition, Chris Garcia and Joseph Ward could make magic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to open the Soulman Tribute at 6 p.m., Joseph Ward, Chris Garcia showed up to compete one-on-one in an Iron Man match. 15 minutes on the clock. And let me tell you something, folks. Both of those men spilled every ounce of sweat and energy in every second and moment of that match until there was a winner. And that man would be Chris Garcia. And so now if you do the math, 1-1. Joseph Ward has a victory over Chris Garcia, and Chris Garcia has a victory over Joseph Ward. Great, great match. Following Joseph Ward and Chris Garcia would be the big match I think everybody wanted to see happen, not necessarily at the Soulman Tribute, but on the big stage. Marcus Dyer, the newcomer, the new young stud over in UCPW, laid out a challenge to a guy that he's been running drills with for the last 7 days, Big Van Briggs. Van Briggs showed up in a major, major way. It would be the first time that Van Briggs, would appear that night. It would be the third time that Marcus Dyer would return to the ring for the Soulman Tribute in competition. And one hell of a clinic those two big men put on in there. The glass knee. The famed glass knee that Marcus Dyer had been touted that he could not land for the past couple days actually landed on the chin of Big Briggs and, of course, bringing him down to the mat. 1, 2, 3. Marcus Dyer picked up the victory in a big, big way. And so his career looks to get a red-hot start over in UCPW, and there should be epic developments on that behalf. And moving along, we were incredibly grateful and we were very thankful to have some outside talent from other promotions fly into Tampa to be part of the Soulman Tribute. And, of course, a good friend of mine by the name of JC, he's a general manager of his own company promotion. He allowed a familiar talent to fly out to Tampa, Justin Wolf. Now, for those of you who don't remember Justin Wolf, you can actually take a look back at the content here on our brand new series called 2K Replay. And there is an archived match from the 2K19 season between Justin Wolf, Tyson Alexander, and, of course, everybody's favorite big man, the powerhouse from Helsinki, Finland, Xander Sokolov. And Wolf would pick up the victory. And what an amazing performance that was. It was a special event, a collaborative effort even then. And Bishop Bannon would step up for the second time in the entire show and take on Justin Wolf in an Iron Man match. 15 minutes on the clock, as we had seen with the opening match. And those two put on an incredible clinic. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Bishop Bannon getting the better of Justin Wolf, who at some point or another, I'm sure, will be returning for interpromotional action. And of course, moving on, the two closing matches I think were very, very special to the Pro Coalition because they featured um, two superstars from the UCPW aisle and two superstars from the Worldwide Wrestling International aisle. This collaborative effort has managed to create some great matches, but some high tensions. That first match would be Hitman versus Big Van Briggs. Van Briggs suffered a not a very good loss against Marcus Dyer earlier in the night. No one expected him to return for action, but nonetheless, he did step back into the ring in a big way against Hitman, who's known as a massive powerhouse over in UCPW, and he picked up the victory. He picked up the victory over Hitman. And of course, we had to close our incredible Soulman Tribute to the late, great Rocky Johnson with the main event. Bishop Bannon would step in the ring for the third time that night to close the show against the young, urban, flashy, high flyer CJ. If you go back to the network, you can actually take a look at that closing main event match. An incredible match, but of course, Bishop Bannon and just a rocket star that's firing up over in Worldwide Wrestling International, going across the aisle, competing against CJ and picking up the victory in a huge, huge way. And that was the Soulman Tribute. It was an incredible thing. And so everybody who came out for that, we greatly, greatly appreciate the participation on their behalf. We had a show that was planned on Saturday. As most people know, we were supposed to be live at the Barclays Center, and of course, there was a massive snowstorm which prevented a lot of our talent from flying into town, and of course, that show had to be canceled. And a lot of the questions that we received here at headquarters was, what was the big match going to be? Well, it was going to be Chris Garcia taking on a newcomer in Worldwide Wrestling International, an international superstar, so to speak. That match did not happen, but nonetheless, we actually were able to give fans a sneak peek at that talent at a new production called Pro Coalition Drill Center Live, and we actually saw two acquisitions to the Pro Coalition, Devon Gordon and Shang Shibata, step in the ring for a drill. Incredible, incredible drill. You can take a look at some of that action here on the network channel. What an incredible drill that was. It was amazing. And so, ladies and gentlemen, those are the happenings for the last 7 days here at the Pro Coalition, and we look forward to continuing our efforts across the country, and we're going to continue to bring you the best content in the world. 2K Replay, 2KPress, and of course Pro Coalition Drill Center Live are some of our best programs here on the network channel, and we're very, very happy. And so we're going to end this show with a highlight. I would like to highlight Nolan Ward. And this is not a plug because he's working for me under contract. This is an acknowledgement to a man who owes nothing to virtual professional wrestling. He owes nothing. His career was storied. He had accolades and successes that many can only dream of. But nonetheless, he's back for a season. He wanted to be very candid and transparent about that. It's only for a season. But since that time, I've never seen anybody with his physical conditioning at his age work so hard. The talent that we have on both rosters is young. They're agile. They're fast. They're quick on their feet. But yet, Nolan Ward still, he steps in the ring and he keeps it trucking. I would like to acknowledge the amazing in-ring athletics and staying power, so to speak, of Nolan Ward here at the end of the second episode of 2K Press, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to seeing more of Nolan Ward, and I think that's going to be a big happening in and of itself. At some point or another, we're going to see something big with Nolan Ward. But at this time, we also want to give a huge shout out to the newly assigned championship committee that includes owners, obviously yours truly, Sean Truthman, Kingsley Content, Mario Acclame, and of course Devin Howler. That's the owner's circle, the championship committee. It doesn't get any bigger than that. New things, new horizons are abound for us. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching today. Thank you for checking in. Until next time, this is 2K Press. I'm General Manager Sean Truthman. Take care.